And clearly now our listeners have seen we have outed much of the whole system of control, perhaps more than any other show, and it heavily leans into a conclusion of one race being more prominent than others in it. Those who go by the name of Jews. And there are many alt media shows. But let's rattle off some names, shall we? Wilcock, Drake, Off Planet Radio, Project Camelot, Alex Jones, David Icke, The Sergeant Report, X22, Veterans Today, except Preston Nichols, Aim for Truth, Truth Cat Radio, Wolf Spirit Radio, Revolution Radio, Life Force, ITNJ, Anna Von Reitz, Graham Hancock, Richard Hoagland, Michael Tassarian, Pete Peterson, Robert David Steele, Sasha Stone, Cindy Bloody Courier, Karen Hudis, Neil Keenan, Jesper Ellerman, Michael Tellinger, Simon Parks, Cobra, Shane Bales, or The Ruiner, the Super Soldier Crew, Miles Johnston, Greg Hallett, Russell J. Gould, David Wynne Miller, amongst many others. Throw in all the crypto and RV people, as all of them work for and by the establishment, all of them. Now, all of these people I've just mentioned have made this claim and that claim, and they've outed this group and that group. And they've all revealed all kinds of differing information. And yet, none of them went near the elephant in the room of the Jewish elite's problem. Now, why is that? Volumes and volumes of knowledge brought forth, and yet none will touch the main problem on this planet. Are they blind or complicit? You decide. The evidence of most of the world's issues has been brought forward by this show. It is overwhelming. Yet where are the others covering it? Why was I kept off of most radio shows? 8 years of doing radio shows with some of the most groundbreaking shows, yet I've appeared on just 7 other shows. All 7 shows I've been on, 8 if you include Cosmic Voice, all did a runner. Why is that? Now, I have been offered to go on 4 or 5 other shows, 2 recently. I refused out of principle. Plus, I no longer trust any of the show's intentions for bringing me on. None of them. The bloodline elites or elites, the nobility, the banking problem, the establishment groups all have one thing and one race in common. And yet, zip, nada, nothing from all those researchers, hosts, books or shows. What does that tell you? We'll go back to 2015 and the Faction Show, which was way ahead of its time, and you'll see why. The fact is, and I don't find this is a good thing or take any glory out of saying it, in fact I find it very, very sad. We are the only show for and by the people without a hidden agenda that is not connected to a faction, secret society or bloodline family connections. And once more people in the alt media realise that as a fact, as sad as it is, and come and join the people's movement to end these faction-based clowns, then we the people can and will move forward. Is it daunting and a long-winded process for the people to rise? You bet it is. But those of you outside the THI field have been in weight clubs for over a decade now. How did that work out for you? Zero has changed much since the rise of the alt media around 2007, except the clowns and the portal people have lost the narrative in many aspects. You want real change? Come and join us. The change was never outside of you, but within. And from within, the TPC, you and we, can grow together. There was an article this week of crass stupidity, and yet so many people follow this bullshit. And it was dated February the 18th, 2021. But to me, it's February the 18th, 2014, because it's no different in the narrative. And the questions remain is, has Charlie Ward become the new tank? What is the connection? Is it significant? Now, Ward became more known to us at THI following the trustee appearing on his show last October. And Ward has since sent me an invite to his show a few months back, and I ignored it. The reason being is I don't feel the need to go on any shows or any other shows anymore. I'm not here to sell anything or convince anybody of our knowledge or group. People find it when they are ready. And the point is, too many are not ready for the full truth yet. Now, some people may not like some of the content within our shows. I agree. I don't like most of the content within our shows either. But someone has to call it as it is. We have all had enough of the saviour programmes and the BS that pervades most, if not all, of the alt media now, as I've just referenced. The alt media, was sick and dying in 2016 when I and also Randy Morgans exposed it. And it's now a lame duck section of dubious characters, none of which are operating for and by the people. None of them. And I will repeat, none of which is operating for and by the people. They are all agency goons with faction-based narratives. Otherwise, at least one or more would cover the Jewish elite problem. Not one of them has covered the Hebrew Anunnaki problem this planet faces, and it's bad enough the BS that they tell you. But a studious THI member will spot what they are not telling you. That fact exposes them. And yes, they will bullshit you with whatever you want to hear, but ultimately over time their narrative falls apart. Ultimately over time, one show stayed consistent with its information, predictions and truths, and that show is THI. And I will never compromise truth for extra listeners, donations, likes, or followers. Period.